Subscribe because it is free.
The Galactic fleet appeared above Earth without warning. A swarm of gleaming starships stretched across the sky like a metal storm, casting vast shadows over continents. People on the ground looked up, phones out, half recording, half squinting into the sun. News anchors stumbled over words. Social media exploded. The hashtag started trending within seconds. Hashtag AliensIRL. Hashtag Sky Parking Violation. Hashtag First Contact Vibes. Aboard the largest ship, the Galactic, Supreme Overcommander Galactic stood tall, 7 feet of polished chitin, ceremonial sashes flowing behind him. He stared down at Earth, unimpressed. They still use combustion engines, he muttered, disgust in every syllable. The fleet had visited 212 worlds before. All had surrendered without resistance. Primitive species usually bowed, cried, or built statues within weeks. Earth was expected to behave the same. It did not. Instead, the first human transmission was a shaky cell phone video. A man in a tank top, squinting at the sky, said, "Yo, anyone else seeing this? Those clouds look hella fake." Then he turned the camera on himself and grinned. "Aliens, if y'all can see this, what's good? Y'all hungry?" He ended it with a thumbs up and a bite of a burrito. Galactic paused the video and rewound it. "What was that?" A diplomat tried to explain. "Commander, that appears to be casual friendliness?" The overcommander's mandibles twitched. "Send the ritual beacon. They will kneel." Earth's governments didn't kneel. They didn't even respond through official channels. Instead, the next signal received aboard the Galactic was a YouTube livestream titled, "Reacting to Alien Megaship with the Boys." 3 young men sat on folding chairs in the backyard, drinking sodas and rating the design of the mothership. "Honestly, it looks like a Bluetooth speaker." "Yeah, or like one of those air purifiers." "Do you think they got snacks in there?" The translator corps buzzed violently trying to decode the slang. An engineer was overheard whispering, "Are these their leaders?" The overcommander had enough. "Summon their delegation," he ordered. "We will begin the domination protocol." Hours later, a human shuttle approached. It was late, it was small, and it had a dented hull with graffiti that read, "Don't panic," in spray paint. As it docked, muffled music played inside. The airlock hissed open. 3 humans stepped out, one in flip-flops, one wearing sunglasses indoors, and one munching on trail mix. They looked around the vast hall of the Federation's flagship with wide, unimpressed eyes. "Dumb," one of them said, pointing at a golden ceiling. "How much did this cost?" Galactic, dressed in ornate battle robes, began his rehearsed speech. "Primitive species of Terra." "Hold up," the human in sunglasses said. "Is that your real voice, or is the echo making it spooky?" The overcommander faltered. "It is my real voice." Cool. Just asking. You sound like if a Darth Vader action figure had anxiety." Behind them, one human snapped a selfie with a blinking alien console. The overcommander's eye twitched. "You will now submit to the protocols of universal assimilation. Can we get tacos first?" Another human asked. "I skipped lunch." Silence fell across the chamber. On cue, a 4th human entered late, holding a pizza box. "Anyone want pepperoni?" The Federation's most feared warlords watched in stunned silence as the humans laughed, took pictures, and tried to high-five an insectoid guard. Galactic whispered, almost to himself, "They're not afraid." The diplomat beside him muttered, "Worse? I think they're amused." The formal ceremony was scheduled at precisely 1400 Galactic Standard Time. The Federation had prepared everything. Banners of welcome in 100 alien languages, ceremonial music composed by the choirs of Zarn, even a holographic display of the galaxy's legal codes. It was an event meant to awe, to humble. On other worlds, species had wept upon hearing the anthem of integration. Earth sent a folding table, set up awkwardly in the middle of the ceremonial hall. The table held 2 bags of chips, a wireless speaker playing Earth jazz, and a homemade sign taped to front. "Welcome to Earth. Let's talk?" 3 humans showed up again. Same ones. One had brought a travel mug. Another wore a t-shirt that read, "Professional Earthling." The third was barefoot, Inexplicably, the overcommander gave them a long, expectant stare. No reaction. One of them yawned. "We are here," Vielok said slowly, "to discuss your species' formal submission to the Federation." The human with the mug took a sip. "Cool. We're here to vibe." Vielok frowned. "I do not understand this." "Vibe." The barefoot one pulled out a speaker. "It's like this." He hit play. A funky bass line filled the hall. The guard stiffened. The interpreter corps blinked rapidly. "We have prepared the universal accord of peace and assimilation." Vielok continued, trying to stay on script. He handed them a glowing scroll, embossed with centuries of interstellar law. The human holding the chips looked it over, used it to wipe sauce off his fingers, and handed it back. "Sorry, we don't do paperwork. Can you DM us?" The translator didn't even try. It shut off. An ambassador from the Slidhari species leaned in and whispered to the overcommander, "Are you sure these aren't the jesters of their kind?" "They claim to have no kings," Vielok muttered. Next, a holographic timeline of galactic civilization was projected, a stunning visual history of 14,000 years. A human glanced at it, nodded, and pulled out his phone. "Can I get the short version on TikTok?" "This is the short version." Vielok snapped. "Oh, then yeah, I'm out." Another human wandered off during the presentation and began asking a six-eyed alien guard if he had a girlfriend. Halfway through the Federation's anthem, one of the humans tried to harmonize. Badly, the Slidhari ambassador covered his ears. After the music ended, a Federation official stepped forward with an offering, a jewel carved from the core of a neutron star, symbolizing unity. "Wow," a human said, taking it. "It's heavy. Can I pawn this?" The overcommander's hands clenched. "You do not understand the gravity of this moment." "No, like literally it's heavy. What's it made of?" He turned to his aides. "They're unmanageable, illogical, unfit for standard diplomacy." A human nodded. "Yep, that's us. Want to play charades next." One aide groaned. "We tried logic. We tried fear. And now they want party games." "They do not fear us," Vielok whispered again, but this time there was a trace of something else in his voice. Admiration. Or maybe just pure, exhausted confusion. The Galactic fleet decided to escalate. If diplomacy was a dead end, then power would speak. Massive warships aligned in formation, energy cannons charged and glowing ominously. From orbit, drone swarms buzzed like angry wasps, scanning cities and broadcasting messages. Surrender now or face obliteration. The Federation expected panic, chaos, swift compliance. Earth responded with a global announcement. Tonight, Uno Night with the Galaxy. Live stream. No one believed it at first. Governments scrambled to confirm if this was a joke or an act of defiance. The entire world logged in, curiosity peaked. Even the alien observers were forced to watch. The scene inside the main summit chamber was surreal. Humans lounged in mismatched pajamas, armed with decks of Uno cards, popcorn bowls, and sodas. One wore fuzzy slippers shaped like dinosaurs. The overcommander, clearly baffled, sat stiffly at the head of the table, a card clutched awkwardly in his clawed hands. "This is not what I expected," Vielok muttered. "What manner of ritual is this?" "It's a game," one human explained with a grin. "You take turns matching colors and numbers. Simple stuff, but it gets intense." The game began. The humans smiled slyly as they played wild cards, skipped turns, and reversed directions. The overcommander's frustration grew with every card stacked against him. "How does this game never end?" he growled after being forced to draw 6 cards in a row. "It's not about winning," a human said. "It's about emotional endurance." Hours passed. The overcommander, one so confident, looked pale beneath his armored exoskeleton. The human players laughed, teased, and exchanged memes on their phones. One broadcast a live poll asking viewers to suggest the next move, turning the whole thing into a global event. Some alien crew members started tuning out the power commands, distracted by viral Earth videos playing on their tablets. Cats doing backflips, people slipping on banana peels, awkward family dances. One young officer even joined a karaoke session, belting out a surprisingly good rendition a bohemian rhapsody through the ship's comms. The military order began to crumble not by force, but by cultural contagion. Why are they doing this? Vialok demanded. Where's their fear? Their desperation? They don't operate by our rules. An aide answered. This is psychological warfare of a kind we didn't anticipate. Eventually, the overcommander slammed his cards down in defeat, a rare gesture of surrender. Enough. We will not be bested by a childish game. A human grinned. Nah, man, it's not childish. It's endurance, strategy, and a little bit of chaos. Kinda like us. The Galactic fleet had come expecting submission or battle. Instead, they found something utterly alien, a species that resisted through humor, unpredictability, and unbreakable spirit. The game night ended, but the message was clear. Humanity wasn't just a species to conquer. They were a force of nature, impossible to control or predict. And sometimes, the deadliest weapon was simply laughter. The Galactic Council convened an emergency summit, filled with anxious murmurs and flashing datapads. The question on everyone's mind was simple. What do we do with Earth? This unpredictable planet had turned the Federation's might into a cosmic sitcom, leaving commanders baffled and morale shaken. Reports flooded in, multiple alien species petitioning for Earth citizenship, citing fascination with human culture. A Plorxian ambassador had even launched a wildly popular YouTube reaction channel, gleefully commenting on Earth memes and videos. The galaxy was hooked. Vialok, once the fearsome overcommander, had undergone a remarkable transformation. Now, instead of planning invasions, he taught advanced human culture courses. His lectures ranged from explaining sarcasm to debating the merits of sandwiches. His favorite phrase? If you can't laugh at the absurd, you'll never survive the galaxy. Earth was offered a seat on the Federation Council. Their reply? A Zoom link with a note attached. We'll join if meetings don't start before noon. The galaxy laughed along with them. Even the most rigid alien bureaucrats found themselves chuckling at human antics. The Federation's protocols were rewritten. New guidelines warned. Humans may respond to aggression with jokes, games, or interpretive dance. Exercise caution. It was a humbling update for a union built on order and control. Humanity's victory was not one of conquest or devastation, but of identity and spirit. They refused to play by anyone's rules but their own, and in doing so, redefined what strength meant across the stars. They showed that sometimes, resilience came in the form of a punchline, a shared joke, or a karaoke night aboard a warship. The stars, once silent and orderly, now echoed with laughter and music. The galaxy had changed forever, not because humans wielded the most powerful weapons, but because they dared to be different, unpredictable, and unapologetically themselves. And somewhere deep in space, an alien warship cruised with fuzzy dice hanging from its cockpit, blasting Earth jazz into the void. The universe wasn't ready for humanity, but it was grateful they showed up anyway.